In our Speaker's Corner report, a Markham man being hit with a huge penalty after building this ice rink in his own backyard. Welcome to Markham's Unionville district.
It is a historic community.
Where history is cherished and preserved.
And my house was built in 1859.
But a big move by Martin Ross is causing big problems. If you ask him,
it's a very gray area.
If you ask the city and some neighbors, though, they'll say it's quite clear. This large, professionally built ice rink equipped with its own refrigeration unit in Ross's backyard needs to go.
Well, through COVID, when my kids weren't getting any ice, I decided to build a little bit of a backyard rink for them to keep up with their training and everything.
But according to the city, he broke some rules. First, he cut down trees.
They fined me for them, and I paid any necessary fines to go with that.
But the project, according to the city, had more issues.
And then they said I needed a heritage permit for it because I have what's called a heritage easement agreement.
An agreement that came when Ross bought the home.
And I did look at the heritage permits, and I felt it met all the criterias, and they said I need a heritage permit. I said, well, I've already pretty much started the work and everything, but I'll play nice. I'll fill out the heritage permit.
While the Heritage Committee said the rink isn't necessarily a violation, the permit was denied by City Council. The city alleges Ross continued on, ignoring warnings to stop work, so they took him to court, winning in both the initial case and in an appeal, with the judge ruling in part that Mr. Ross has breached the obligation set out in Section 2.8 of the easement agreement. That agreement states any changes made to the topography must first get written city approval. But Ross says other than removing trees, his work did not alter the land. He also argues only structures visible to the public realm need approval, which he says his rink is not.
You can't consider, 200 feet away from the property to be heritage. There's no bylaw. There's bylaws on pools. There's no bylaws on a backyard rink.
Which is true. Ice rinks in and of themselves are not prohibited, but the city argues the easement is clear. The process of changing the land to build one first needs city approval, a step they again point out Ross bypassed. When ruling, the judge says if Ross doesn't remove the rink himself, the city can legally send crews in and leave Ross with the bill.
They're just saying we'll be here on October 28th to start construction. They haven't told me a procedure of construction. They haven't told me the cost.
Ross has now reapplied for a permit.
We paid our permit fees, stand down until we hear this due process. It's my property, and I don't know what government officials can just come and take your property and throw it away.
As always, if you have an issue, story, or question you'd like us to look into, reach out by visiting the Speaker's Corner tab on the City News website. Pat Taney, City News.